Monster Squad. What'd you guys think? Or you want me to
I
tell you the
enjoyed
plot? I'll tell you the plot real quick.
Sure.
All right. So it's from 1987, directed by Fred Decker. Okay. Plot is a group of 12-year-olds form a Universal Monsters fan club called Monster Squad and have to attempt to save their hometown from Count Dracula and his monsters when they show up for real.
It is crazy that the monsters just are on a team.
Yeah, it
Like,
is,
that's
isn't
bizarre.
it?
Everything about it's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting that Dracula
Yeah,
just
it's-
controls them and mind control, just
And they just, none of them are like, sure.
free thinking. Yeah.
I love that. I love that part about it. I love a lot
I
about
do
it,
love the
actually.
beginning, like when it does the text and it just says they blew it.
I love that too.
Yeah, that was funny, right?
But then immediately after that, the vortex black hole effects were not great.
The effects are a bit dated. The makeup
Makeup's
looks
really
pretty
good.
The makeup
Yeah.
and practical effects were great. But
Very
like,
good.
that
What's his
vortex
name?
thing was
What's
rough.
his name? Stan Winston did all
No
the
idea.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a famous effects person, makeup guy.
They talk about it in this documentary I watched. I watched
Really?
after, yeah.
Documentary you watch on Monster Squad. What's it called on YouTube?
I watched it on The Stick. It's called Wolfman's Got Nards. And
That's crazy.
The actors in it are all grown up now, and they're going around the country, like, they're seeing, because that is a cult following. They're going to, like, theaters, and the people, like, it blew up after it came out.
Yeah.
No way.
And they're like, we can't believe there was such a following for this movie. It made, like, $10 when it came out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Really good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
there's at least 3 documentaries about it.
You know what's funny is
Yeah.
when he said that line, Wolfman's Got Nards, I'm like, I literally didn't know. I'm like, this is what that's
Yeah.
from. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because I've seen it on like shirts and whatnot. I think
Yeah.
you got a shirt that says it or something. No, you don't
I
have
don't.
anything that says it? No, I'm pretty sure you do. You're lying.
No, I don't.
But this movie's just basically Goonies with horror inserted.
Yeah.
Like Universal
Kinda.
Monsters. Very Gooniesy.
There,
I think a little more adult.
A little more. I
It's
wouldn't
like,
say a lot
it's
more.
weird because it's like based toward kids, but there's like adult stuff in it, so it's for everybody, kind of, but
I would say it's more geared towards
but also
kids.
for nobody because it made no money.
right. Some very, very outdated and problematic insults, pretty
Yeah.
much from the grip.
Yep.
Yeah, like what are
Like,
some of them?
Oh, one of the characters is named Fat Kid.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
but
Pretty much, yeah.
when they're
They call him Fat Kid throughout the whole thing. Like
when they're like
do you think
getting
that,
in trouble. In the
do you think that would fly today?
no,
No.
no.
I mean,
they talk
people would
about
be
that.
upset about it?
Do you think they use the term, and I use this in quotations, faggot? Do you think that would
no,
fly today?
that was
Absolutely not.
That's a dated, problematic insult I was referring to.
Yeah.
But they call and immediately they're getting in trouble in the principal's office when they leave. They call them a homo, and they're like, "We got cat ladies and homos," and they just keep saying it.
That's one of my favorite things. Like one of the favorite lines. Like, do you think they would let us know about cat ladies and homos in
Yeah.
school?
Ladies and homos.
Yeah, they
Right.
say their teacher looks like a cat, and then it shows her, and she does not look like a cat.
Their hair's like in the ears though, so
Yeah, it is cat. Their hair is cat-like. It's an interesting concept, though, isn't it? Very tongue-in-cheek. So basically,
I think
a
it's
bunch
just a
of
fun.
Universal horror monsters take over this small town, and a bunch of kids have to save it. And it's a bunch of Universal monsters that we're familiar with.
And there's there's a lot of just cool parts, I guess, like watching a drive-in movie from your rooftop would
that
be
was cool.
awesome.
That was a
Yeah.
cool shot.
Especially if your dad's just cool with it and bringing you burgers
Exactly,
on the
yeah.
roof.
I mean, it did look fake. The shot. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of
How dare you?
stuff that happened in post to get that shot, but like it did look decent. You know what I mean? I'm sure this movie would have hit me different if I watched it as a kid, but I watched it when I
absolutely.
was 34, so I think it doesn't have the same effect when you're a jaded man.
But if you love '80s movies, you would also still love it. Which
True.
There's
I do.
It does have some 80s charm.
So many quotable things.
It really is. Dialogue's really good.
The best, one of my favorite, says your sister doesn't speak German. All she does is hang around and let guys touch her tits.
Yeah.
And then I said, that sounds way cooler than speaking German to me.
It really does.
You got a hot sister that just shows her tits around town?
and yet, she said she wasn't a virgin.
No.
she wasn't.
Said like John, but he doesn't count or something. He
Well,
doesn't
also-
count.
Well, my whole thing, they're freaking out about the virgin. Every boy in that club.
That's what I was
is
gonna
a-
say. Why
didn't
not
they use
use
one of
it?
them? They
Yeah.
just use the little girl.
What are they just like in denial? No, I'm not.
But then that guy was like, because that kid was like,
Has to be a girl though,
Is
right?
she? They didn't say that though.
Yeah.
Like it would make sense if
But
that
it wasn't
was.
the beginning, so I just assumed.
But then, like, because that kid goes, "Isn't she a virgin?" And it's like, "Yeah, dude, she's 5."
Right.
He calls him Band-Aid breath.
yeah.
Hey, asshole! And then when he looks, he's like, "You looked."
The werewolf looked really cool. The Swamp Monster looked the best, I thought.
I would say the
looked
Swamp
super
Monster.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
will look the best. Yeah, Frank looked okay. Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
It was a bit cheesy when they're having like a montage with Frankenstein's monster. Like,
Walking through the sunset.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it.
he befriends the little girl.
I love it.
I know, it's very tongue in cheek and whatnot, but yeah.
They say in the documentary they didn't want to make it like other swamp creatures. They wanted to make it like better, so they built a full one piece, and then he had to get like glued into it. So the actor said in the first day of shooting, it was like the swamp scene. They put him in the water. He's like, I thought I was gonna die. I couldn't breathe. I was just like, I was like, I can't do this.
They just tested him out in there,
Pretty
like
much.
guinea pig
Yeah.
style. That's crazy. You're right. The writing the dialogue was good, and like the characters' chemistry and whatnot. And
There's tons of quotable lines.
Yeah, some
just
of it,
funny
like, yeah,
moments.
some of it looks really good. Obviously, some of it not so much.
yeah,
But it's a lot of fun, and when I was a kid, it was fucking sick.
that's what I'm saying. That's why it
like,
didn't really.
Lots
like,
of Adidas.
That's why I did
was.
So much
The whole thing
Adidas.
of boxes.
Yeah.
That's
Adidas,
why I
yeah,
didn't love
sponsored.
it, is because I'm not a kid anymore, and I just
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I have
it's
literally-
impossible to.
I haven't
Get
watched it
past
since
that,
I was a
like-
kid.
I loved it. So I mean, I don't,
Is this the first time you've seen it?
no, I seen it way back when, but
That'd
I
be
didn't remember a
crazy.
thing from it.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, I
when I
haven't
first
seen it
started,
in a
I was
very
like,
long time.
I know I've seen this.
Seeing it as like a 38-year-old and be like, this is amazing.
I love it.
It was alright. But I will say that movies with kids aren't written as good like as they were back then. Because movies with kids these days is written with like a lot of special effects thrown in and just money dumped into
Yeah.
it. Whereas like back then it was like about the camaraderie and like the. You know
There
what
was
I
a
mean?
slew of them back then in the 80s too.
Yeah. Goonies,
They were pumping
Stand
them
By
out.
Me,
Breakfast Club.
I feel like
Breakfast Club,
nowadays
Monster
also
Club.
like movies with kids in it, they don't like treat the kids like real people. Like it's either very cartoony or very serious, not
Yeah.
in between, like an actual child.
Yeah.
Like it's like the kid is treated like you're like a nonsense cartoon character, or
Yeah.
you're just a little adult.
Yeah.
And like 80s movies, they had personalities and like
Yeah.
were stupid like kids and like overreacted and actually had like real feelings, and now it's just one extreme or the other.
I get that. Yeah.
I mean, so many things in there are ridiculous, but they're just like, I thought they were just funny and fun. Like the kid running to the army and them showing up.
Yeah, that was a fun.
Please help. He's like, who's Stu?
That is a funny.
Where's the
thing.
monsters at?
Yeah, it just said to the army.
Yeah. And the guy shows up and says, where's the monsters
Also,
at?
that
We got him
kid's
already.
handwriting,
Yeah.
he was too old to have handwriting that bad. Like writing
He was like 7. He was writing, he was like 3, yeah.
Just writing the letter U in crayon instead
Yeah.
of the word U.
That's terrible.
Fat kid did rule though.
Yeah, he died. It's a bummer.
I did read that they had to change up the monsters just a tiny bit, just because of the whole rights and all that stuff. They couldn't get the rights, so they had to change it up just a little bit. There's like certain, like a certain degree they had to change it to or percentage or whatever have you,
Yeah.
that they had to change it. But I read also that people prefer this Dracula over a lot of Draculas. Like this is one of the best interpretations. People love this Dracula over a lot. Like
Yeah, that was funny. The guy said in the documentary, I wanted to play him like a sociopath. And he was like, I wanted to have like no feelings and just be a killer. Jeez, man.
he nailed it.
Yeah.
The pilot was what's his name? From Sopranos.
Oh, that
Aprile.
line was so funny.
What did he say? I
killed me.
forget it. I forget.
Yeah, I'm
it.
depressed. I hate my job. And the guy's like, what do you mean? You're getting paid? You're flying? He's like, actually, I love my job. This is great. I watched it like 3 times that part. I was like, this guy rules.
That is funny, man.
Just the way it was delivered was so good.
But
And
anything-
also, Dracula in the end calling her a little bitch. At 4 years old. Chef's kiss. It was perfect.
Give me the amulet, you bitch!
Little bit.
I do remember that. That
Oh,
was
it's
good.
so
I
good.
forgot to bring that up. That's a good line.
You bitch. She's like 4 years old.
That's a lot of people's reviews of it. It was like Dracula called a 4-year-old.
Oh, it's
That's
so
like
it's gold.
something Freddy Krueger would say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just total villain heel. But anyway, anything else you guys want to add on it before we get to ratings?
No, go ahead.
No,
Shoot your shot.
I honestly, it was just like, I'm too old for it. I know that sounds like ridiculous or whatever, but like I said, it would just been different when I seen it. If I was a kid and seen it, it's just too kiddie for me.
I thought it was perfect for my age. So. whatever age I am,
it's
I
too
think it's
kiddie for
perfect.
me, and I'm just like, you know, you guys know my taste.
Joe
I'm more
doesn't know his
into,
age.
I don't.
I'm more into serious, I guess, stuff, and just like,
I'm sure I could find one. It's not you freaking love Paddington too, so shut up and into serious stuff.
Babe 2, Pig in the City.
right. Well, anyway, I gave it 5. I gave it a 5.5.
Go ahead, you.
I gave it a 7.5.
That's what I said. For, like, if it was for nostalgia's sake, it'd be like an 8. But realistically, I give it a 7, 7.5.
It's just fun.
You got to pick one.
We'll do it. It's 7.25. You said we could do that now.
No, that's off.
Oh,
No, because Joe said we haven't done any that. So
I'll have 7.5. It's fine.
Hell yeah, brother.
okay, all right. And would you guys say recommendation? Would you say watch it ASAP, whenever, or skip it?
If you've never seen it, why not watch it ASAP?
I'll say whenever.
I mean, yeah, say whatever. I don't care.
whatever's fine.
Whatever.
Yeah, whenever. We'll say whenever. It's
Hit
got
me up.
some.
You can borrow my 4K.
It's
Hell
got
yeah.
some charm and cheese and 80s nostalgia fun. It's got, that's what it's got. What?
Your opinion on movies is ran all over the place. You never know what you're gonna think.
All right, that's our review for Monster Squad, and we'll catch you on the next one.